Hey, what up, my Trekkie friends? It's me, Stu Jackson, here from Hailing Frequencies, back with another video about the latest episode, the final episode of Picard, The Last Generation. Now, first things first, apologies that this video won't have my usual editing bits and pieces that it normally has. Like, you'll have noticed there's no title sound, no title music, nothing like that. It's because I'm away at the moment. As you can see, I'm somewhere else. So that's why this is basically just me recording this on my iPhone, and I will just upload that video as is. So apologies, it's not got the usual bells and whistles. Next thing we need to talk about is the fact that this video will have some huge, massive, ginormous spoilers for episode 10 of Picard season 3, the episode The Last Generation. So if you haven't watched it yet, stop this video right now, go away, watch it, then come back and enjoy it with the rest of us as we discuss what was in that episode. So you caught up now? Great. Oh my God, what an episode that was. Absolutely incredible. I mean, it was a lot of fan service in there for sure, some of which can be leaned a little bit heavily, as we've seen earlier in the season you can tell I'm not editing this, earlier in season 3 of Picard. But yes, there were bits and pieces of fan service, most of which I absolutely loved. Particularly, I got to talk about the ending, or endings, shall I say, because there's two endings I want to talk about with this. Some lovely, beautiful moments first, though. So first of all, let's talk about the wrapping up with the Borg. Now, I, for one, didn't entirely see where it was going in terms of, obviously, we'd figured out that the Borg were involved, and all credit to myself for coming up with the whole Jet Crusher is an organic vinculum thing, because that seemed to be borne out pretty well. Obviously, came up with a lot of batshit theories that we're nowhere near the mark, but hey, that's the fun of speculating, isn't it? The whole Borg thing, whilst we knew it was going to be the Borg, it wasn't the way I was expecting the whole Borg thing to turn out. It seems that they were massively, massively crippled from previous events. Now, was that the end of First Contact that we're talking about that crippled them? Was it the crippling by Admiral Janeway from the future at the end of Voyager, or something else? Indeed, that was left a little bit open, and I kind of like that option. I half expected some sort of heartfelt plea from Picard to his son. That was pretty borne out. So I was half expecting that. Was a bit unsurprised by the way that resolved. Excuse me. But as I say, some lovely, lovely moments. Now, for me, absolute highlights were the special effects from the Enterprise D when it was facing down against the Borg cube. In particular, now this is where I wish I was at my editing desk and I could insert a clip of it, but you'll have to just rewatch it. I mean, who needs a special excuse to rewatch that episode, am I right? So, when the Enterprise is flying out through the flames, there was a couple of moments when it flew through the flames coming off the Borg cube, and it wrapped around the shields. I just thought that was a brilliant, lovely, lovely moment, and of course, really nice to see the old girl back in action as well. Another really nice, humorous moment for me was when Jack Crusher, right at the end, says, set course for the Metallus system. Don't know if you picked up on that as well, but of course Terry Metallus, being the showrunner, thought that was a really nice little moment. Short, do you know what? I'm going to do a completely separate video just about Captain Short, because he's been a very controversial person in this series for so many different reasons. I personally, now, Todd Stashwick, I think, is an absolutely amazing actor. I've got all the love in the world for him, but the character of Shaw, I did not like. I didn't like the whole dead naming of Seven. That was a particular issue for me about the character. Like I said, I'll cover all this in a separate episode about Captain Shaw. I felt his hologram, that was a bit too much of a redemption arc going on, and the fact that he called her 7 of 9 in the holographic message, but then referred to her as Hanson kind of in terms of his personal timeline afterwards. I'm kind of no, that's not the way to go. It's bad enough one person being that way inclined, but to know that what they're doing is wrong and doing it anyway kind of makes it a bit inexcusable in my view. But hey ho, you know, he got his redemption. He got his redemption arc, so that's fine and dandy. I was really shocked not to see Janeway in this. I know that Terry Metallus and others had publicly said that Janeway's not going to be in it, but it wouldn't be the first time they've told us Porky Pies now, would it? So I was a bit surprised that we didn't see Janeway. Now let's talk about the ending. I'm going to make this a fairly short video, so I'm going to be wrapping this up very soon. But let's talk about the first ending first of all, that poker game. What a beautiful moment that was. And the way the camera angle came up above the table and spun exactly the way the camera did at the end of Next Generation, All Good Things, Part 2. The end of that, the camera did exactly the same thing. It pulled up and turned in exactly the same way. So that was a beautiful little Easter egg right there. And carrying on filming, and with the sound as well, so you can hear them talking as they're playing. I just thought that was a lovely little homage right there. A little disappointed we didn't get the phrase, the sky is our limit. But, you know, you can't have everything. And then, of course, the other big reveal, of course, about the Titan being renamed. I was really, really pleased about that. But, hey, what's happened to the Enterprise F? That's still going. All right, we know Admiral Shelby got shot, presumably killed. The view screen cut off just at that moment. But the ship should still be fine. So does that mean that within the fleet there are currently 2 Enterprises? The Enterprise F and the Enterprise G? How does that work? That one needs thinking about, perhaps. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was a beautiful little moment, and the fact that it's a neo-constitution, it brought things really nice, wrapped around in a nice little circle. And certainly if there is a series following the adventures of Captain Seven, Commander Raffi, and the crew of the Enterprise G, I'd want to see that. I'm sure you would too. Yeah, and oh my God, the reveal with Q. Absolutely over the moon with that. And having watched the special features on the Picard Season 2 DVD Blu-ray set, where John Delancey gave a speech at the end of wrapping with his scenes on Picard, and how emotional he got. I mean, the guy was absolutely in tears at the end of that season and finishing filming. And of course, at that time, he would have thought, that is absolutely it, no more Q. And yeah, to see how emotional John Delancey got, I bet when they gave him the call saying, we want you in Picard Season 3. He must have been over the moon. I bet he also wanted to see the script before he accepted, but yeah, I bet he was over the moon with that, and I can tell you, I'm over the moon with it too. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I promise you I read every comment. I try and respond to as many as I can, but I do read each and every single comment. Really appreciate hearing what you think about it. Really want to know what you think about this particular episode. Now, I've got a little break now until Season 2 of Strange New Worlds comes in. Now, I will be doing a specific video doing a breakdown of that trailer that has dropped for that. Obviously, we're going to be talking about the Section 31 movie that is coming up, that's been announced. So there's lots to keep us going until Season 2 of Strange New Worlds drops, when we'll be going back to doing a weekly video about each of those episodes. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Make sure in the meantime that you like the channel, you subscribe, and you hit that notification icon so that you get notified about all the videos that we do here. And if there's anything in particular that you want to see on one of these videos, do let me know. Drop a note in the comments. I've said to people that I'll do one about the uniforms, that I'll do one about the models. So we've got all that to look forward to. I've also said in this video I'm going to do a video about Captain Shaw, because I think we need to talk about Captain Shaw. And I'd also, what was I going? Oh yes, I was going to do one about the end credits that have been at least on the first 9 episodes of Picard Season 3. I want to do a not frame by frame, but scene by scene breakdown of those end credits, because everything in there, what came through on what happened in the actual series. So I want to sort of go back and look at that as a retrospective. Like I said, anything else you want to see on the channel, do let me know. In the meantime, peace and long life, and live long and prosper. Have we not heard the bells at midnight?